Hello Year 12.
Hello Year 12, nice to see you, kind of.
Today we're going to be doing ratios within Hair and Beauty.
Is that what this is? Hair and
This
Beauty?
is my lovely Hair and Beauty students.
Oh, they're quite orange.
Yeah, it's got a bit much over lockdown.
Okay.
And then Miss Webb says we're going to be looking at ratio.
Mixing stuff,
and
ratio.
then you started to cry because you're just like, no, I hated ratio and they missed the case of the cheese and were trying to teach me before.
Sorry.
It's not got better.
No.
So we're gonna.
But we're going to use ratio.
We're going to use ratio.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about your hair dye basically. And so what we did is we went into the salon.
Yep.
And we got
wow.
This one. This is the lotion that you mix with the hair dye, and you have to mix it to certain given ratios. And the reason why it's ratio is because you might want a certain amount of millilitres with someone with really, really long hair,
and not very much
and
for
not
me.
very much for if you were going to dye Mr. Cayson's hair.
Not very much at all.
But they still have to be in proportion with each other, or you might end up making that person's
too much. You can't put too much of this in.
Yeah, this would be a bit too strong, or it might not be strong enough, and then the hair dye might not stick.
Okay.
But you need it in the same proportion. That's the word we're going to use, proportion. No matter if you're doing Rapunzel's hair or Miss Cake's hair. So Miss Webb has said to you, we've got this gorgeous client, her name's Miss Cheeseman, and she wants to dye her hair.
Your sister?
No, my sister is not Miss Cheeseman anymore.
Okay.
She wants to dye her hair a lovely sort of reddy brown. So I've decided that's what I want to go for. And Miss Webb says to you, I need 200 millilitres of this certain shade.
200 millilitres.
Of this certain shade.
Red.
Okay, this beautiful shade. I've looked in the lookbook and I've
Chemise
decided
red.
that's the colour I want. And she says, go make that for me. And you're thinking, oh no.
Does it say on the are there instructions as to
yes, within the cupboard. Within the cupboard.
We looked in the cupboard.
We looked in the cupboard. We did. Within the cupboard, there are different colours that you guys are using, and there's different ratios for the different colours. When I used to work in a salon, when I was a little bit younger than you guys, we had a chart on the door, and because you have different brands within the salons, and it'll probably be a different brand at the salon that you work in on a Saturday compared to the one that in school, and therefore there's different ratios for all the different brands and the different colours that you're using. But we're going to start with the 1-to-1.
1-to-1
which
ratio.
is an example of one of the colours that you use.
Put that over here. So it would say a 1-to-1.
1-to-1. So with that, you have the colour and you have the developer or the lotion. Okay.
Yep.
So you're splitting it between the colour, and we're going to call it the lotion because that's what it's called in our hair and beauty salon. But it might be called something else. It might be called the developer or whatever you want.
Yeah.
So this is how much.
That's what we want to end up with.
In total. That's how much we want total to cover my hair. If we were having someone with slightly short hair, it might be a different
We'll
total.
do them in a minute, shall we?
Okay,
We're making this much, and we've got to split our colour and our lotion into two parts.
Into two parts.
Two parts. I can see that. 2 parts.
That's the first thing that we're talking about. In total, your ratio is 2 parts.
Okay.
That's your dividing number. Okay? That's what you need to divide your total by. This is your total. Okay? That's how much you should have in total at the end.
So divide 200 by 2 and you get 100. 100.
So that means that 1 part is equivalent to 100 millilitres. Because 200 divided by the 2 parts that we have is 100 millilitres.
So I need 100 millilitres of colour and 100 millilitres of lotion.
They should be the same because they were 1-to-1.
Okay.
Okay. So that's nice and easy. Okay, because you're just halving it because it's just 1-to-1.
I'm just going to remove some of this. So when I go in and after you've had your hair done in this beautiful red colour, and I decide that I would like I'd like mine done in the same colour.
Yeah.
And Miss Webb sends you away and she says, well, for Mr. Kaysen, I'm only going to need 20 millilitres. 20 millilitres.
20 millilitres.
Because I don't want to waste it, and I don't want to have loads left over. So because Mr. Kaysen hasn't got very much hair, I only need 20 millilitres. So 20 millilitres for me, that's my total.
Yeah, still
I'm
1 to 1.
still splitting it 1-to-1 ratio.
So we're still dividing by 2.
I'm still dividing by 2, so that basically, for colour, I'm going to need 10.
Yeah.
And for lotion, I'm going to need 10.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a lot less than for you.
10 times less. Because the total is.
But I don't need to make as much.
Absolutely.
Fine.
Okay. And it's very important that you get the maths right, because your boss is not going to be happy if you've gone through more lotion than you needed or more colour than you needed to create
Because
that.
there's no good making 200
They're not
millilitres.
going to want loads left over. I remember them sort of scraping
Mm.
out that bowl, making sure that they're covering that whole head. Okay. So that's a nice and easy one. 1 to 1.
Yep.
Now, when we looked in the cupboard,
Yep.
there was some other ratios which was 2 to 1.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 parts colour, 1 part lotion, or it might have been the other way around. Now I'm like, I wish I
Now you think you wish you'd paid attention. Well, considering one of us is 1 to 1.5, let's call it a 1 to 2, shall we?
Yeah.
Can we make it 1 to 2?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, you could write it that way round, but have your lotion here and your colour here.
Yeah, I think it is more
Yeah.
lotion than colour. I hope. I hope when I go back I'm right. So let's go.
Yep.
This is colour. And this is lotion. And what I saw on your charts is they even had pictures of the little bottles.
Did they? So
to
you
make
just
sure
make
that
it
you
nice and
knew
easy.
which one was which.
Okay.
Okay. And they always tell you which is which.
Alright.
So let's go with this. This time we've got some luscious long locks coming our way, and we've been asked for 300 millilitres. Or do you want to make it more difficult?
I was going to make it more difficult.
Okay,
I was going to make it 270 millilitres.
Oh, Mr. Casey's mean.
Just because the numbers actually aren't that important.
No, they're not important.
270. Oh, we can do
270 millilitres. That's my total.
Yep.
How many parts do I have? 1, 2, 3. I have 3 parts.
I'm going to like parts.
Which means I'm dividing by 3. I take my total and I divide it by 3 and I get 90. You can use a calculator. Yeah, you don't have to worry.
No.
You've got your phone there, you can divide by 3, or you've got a little calculator in your
I'm
pocket.
hoping we can divide 27 by 3.
Yeah, but if we struggled, we're not in a maths test anymore.
No, we're not.
We
We're
can
not.
use
We
a
can use a
calculator. We
calculator.
are practically out in the real world.
We are.
We don't want to get it wrong.
We don't want to get it wrong because we don't want to waste the product.
So, 1 part, because I've divided my total by 3, so I had 3 parts.
So 1 part is 90.
1 part is 90, which means I'm going to have 1 lot of colour, and I'm going to have 2 parts lotion, so 2 lots
of 90. 2 9s are 18, so 180.
180. Check that it adds up to what you were asked for.
That's the total.
And it does. Okay. Now, we know.
Yeah, because we saw somewhere.
We know that some colour ratios are a bit nasty.
Yeah.
And they give you that.
Now we as mathematicians don't even think this is a proper ratio. And the reason we don't think it's a proper ratio is because it doesn't have whole numbers. Ratio should always really have a whole number. Because this doesn't, this is just the manufacturers kind of breaking the maths rules. But this is what you're going to be faced with, and we need to know how to deal with it.
So, we're still asking for 200 millilitres, okay, in total.
Yep.
But now my ratio of colour, colour to lotion or developer is 1 to 1.5.
Right.
Now that is too difficult. We can't be dividing
like
by decimals. We don't like
dividing by
that.
decimals.
Okay. So what we have to remember is a thing called equivalent ratios.
Right.
So if I double both of these,
Yep.
they're going to still be the same ratio. As long as I do the same thing to this side as I do to this side, it's still equivalent.
Bit like when you do it to fractions.
So yeah.
Top and the bottom.
Yeah.
Still an equivalent
doubling
fraction.
it up. So instead of writing 1 to 1.5, if I double both, I get a nice whole number.
Okay.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 to 1.5 is the same as 2 to 3.
So that's 5 parts.
That's 5 parts. Okay, so now I'm going to be dividing my total
By 5.
by 5 to find that 1 part is 40 mils.
Okay.
So 1 part equals 40. Okay, so I'm going to need 2 lots of that,
Yep.
which is
80.
80, and 3 lots of 40
120.
is 120. Check that that adds up to 200 mils. It does. So you've got your 80 to your 120. Now you might be using scales in, or you might have measuring tubes. I saw those inside of the cupboard, and also within your pot.
So these pots, this is what you mix it into?
Yeah, that's where you mix in the dye. There is lines here, but that is slightly inaccurate because obviously your dye is quite. I'm going to use a science word here. Your dye is quite viscous, which means it's quite a thick, gloopy liquid, which means it's quite hard to measure like that. So the tubes that you are provided are good, or using weight, okay? And a gram is equivalent to a millimetre.
Good.
Okay, so that's that really. It doesn't get too much difficult than that. What I would say to you is you can watch this video as much as you want until it goes in. You can practice it. You can say to Miss Weddle or Miss Magdalene, please can I have a bit of a practice?
Yeah. Come and ask. Come and ask us as well.
Come and ask us. Here. We can do some more examples for you. But we thought that this was something that we know over the years when we've been talking to the hair and beauty girls. This is the thing that is the hardest little sticking point for them, and it is something that people do find difficult even when they become senior stylists or things like that. Because when I was in the salon, they always used to ask me to do it for them. Maybe they just couldn't be bothered. But it's something that you want to be able to nail, because you don't want your client leaving the salon with completely the wrong hair colour, or the fact that the hair colour hasn't stuck, or even the fact that you've put too much colour in and all their hair's fallen out.
Yeah.
So definitely watch the videos as many times as you need.
Good.
Okay?
Hope that's
See you later.
Bye bye.